Sure, too.
F's. You want to give one to Limbaugh?
No,
All right.
My F goes to the federal prosecutors in the former Senator Ted Stevens corruption case, whose misconduct in the case was apparently so serious in the view of the judge who threw out the conviction this week at the request of Attorney General Eric Holder, as to warrant investigation into the possibility that these prosecutors may have crossed the line into criminal misconduct themselves. Few things should concern us more than the state's misuse of its criminal powers.
I'm giving an A to all an F rather, to all the politicians who turn away from the clear problem we have with the easy availability of guns. After this horrible tragedy in Binghamton, what more needs to happen? I quote the president of the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence, who says, "It is time for leaders in Washington to drop empty platitudes after each horrific shooting and instead do what they're paid to do, show backbone and enact reasonable laws to keep dangerous weapons out of the hands of dangerous people."
I want to give an F to Congressman Dan Maffei for his little tawdry exercise on the Colbert Report this past week. If you haven't seen it, he donned a fake mustache and goatee to pose as his own evil twin who enjoyed coke, by his own admission, cocaine and prostitutes. This is not funny, and this is not adult. He said to the Post-Standard that it was good for Central New York. Hardly. We don't need one more joke. You were not taken out of context, and playing to the lowest common denominator cheapens your office and us.
I'm giving an F to New York City Health Commissioner Dr. Thomas Frieden, who argues that a soda tax of a penny per ounce would be the biggest boon to public health since the tobacco tax. While it might improve health, it also would tax directly the youngest New Yorkers, and there is no proof it will force children to drink drinks that don't have sugar.
And I'm giving an F to 10 priests from the Congregation of the Holy Cross, the order that founded the University of Notre Dame, for urging that Notre Dame rescind its invitation to President Obama to speak at commencement because Obama supports abortion rights. The reason they give for urging this action is that Notre Dame would risk losing its, quote, true soul, and that it would damage Notre Dame's integrity to have Obama speak there, which is sheer sophistry. It is, after all, a university.
My F goes to both Governor David Paterson and his father, Basil Paterson. Basil is a noted labor lawyer. He's not a registered lobbyist, but his firm works for a number of unions in this state, including the teachers union, and they collect fees for doing so. Basil's firm has been successful in directing government contracts to unions and in recently helping to kill a new tax on health insurers that could have hurt some self-insured unions, and his son, David, took a proposed tax out of the recent state budget. This is really a messy conflict of interest, and it seems to me either Basil should stop practicing law, he is in his 80s, or David shouldn't be governor. All right, 2 minutes, A's.
Congratulations to Wegmans, which is ranked #1 in Consumer Reports' new survey of grocery shoppers. This is yet another reminder that we live in the grocery store sweet spot, and all you have to do to get a different reminder of that is to leave the area for a while and have to shop somewhere else.
I'm giving an A to the House of Representatives, which by 298 to 112 vote gave the Food and Drug Administration finally the authority to regulate tobacco. This legislation also limits advertising, bans deceptive advertising, and gives the FDA the authority to regulate the amounts of nicotine as well as menthol and candy flavoring and so on in tobacco products.
Give the same A I give every single time this year. Give an A to baseball. Thank goodness winter is over. Now please stop snowing on my baseball games.
I'm giving an A to country singer Charlie Pride. When he learned that a fan had been duped into paying 3 times the actual cost of one of his concert tickets, he not only paid for the ticket, he also gave her 2 more free tickets.
A nonpartisan report issued this week notes that 1/3 of public school teachers are likely to retire in the next 4 years, and that 1/3 of new teachers will leave the profession within the next 5 years. Why? Low pay, low morale, deteriorating work conditions. Public school teachers are not the problem, they're the solution, so an A to our public school teachers here in Central New York and elsewhere.
My A goes to Sanford Weill, who gave $170 million to Cornell's medical school this week, but it's not for the $170 million. He's the fellow who founded Citigroup, and he's now seeing his company collapse and be criticized, but he made a very interesting quote when he made the gift. He said, "My activities in the not-for-profit center," that being Cornell Medical, seem to have a lot more staying power than what I accomplished in the for-profit arena. And let that be a lesson to people with money who might want to give it away at this particular time. Okay, thanks to you at home for joining us this evening. Please send your comments to the Ivory Tower Half Hour, Post Office Box 2400, Syracuse, New York 13220, or email us at ivorytower@wcny.org. If you want to view our weekly A's and F's, just go to wcny.org and click on the YouTube icon. This is David Rubin saying, keep debate alive. We will be here next week.